It looks petty. It looks like you're being a sore loser. It looks like you are making excuses.
Imagine being the most highly anticipated rookie in WNBA history, drawing millions of new fans to the sport, only to be met with relentless physical play that refs seem to overlook. That's exactly what Caitlin Clark experienced in her rookie season, and the video evidence is clear. From Jackie Young hitting her in the face with just a common foul to Alyssa Thomas knocking her over with a shoulder check that somehow wasn't called a flagrant, the pattern is hard to ignore. We've put together every major missed call against Clark this season. Watching them all in a row makes it easy to see why fans are outraged.
Your team, it's just weird, and it's so interesting to me how still Caitlin Clark is getting under everyone's skin. Like, she so easily can get under the skin of other players.
Did you see what happened to Caitlin Clark in the playoffs when Dejanay Carrington blatantly poked her in the eye, and the rest did nothing? That wasn't just a missed call. It was a perfect example of how officials have handled the league's biggest new star all season.
Coaches, it feels like a lot of these players and teams just hate the Indiana Fever. And I mean, I get it. This team was one of the worst teams in the league, and they are now climbing the ranks.
Picture this, September 22nd, playoff intensity at its peak. It's the Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun, and all eyes are on the rookie who has reshaped women's basketball. With 5:48 left in the second quarter, the game takes a shocking turn.
Harassed by Carrington, finds Boston after taking a shot following the pass to Boston.
Carrington reaches for the ball, but instead of a clean defensive play, her fingers jab directly into Clark's eye. The impact is instant. Clark recoils, clearly shaken, her hand rushing to her face. The pain is written all over her expression, and the ref's response, nothing at all.
In pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye, or no whistle.
The crowd waits for the whistle, and waits, but nothing comes. The refs stay silent as play continues, while Clark blinks through the pain, struggling to regain focus. Even the broadcast team couldn't hide their shock. Clark, harassed by Carrington, finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down. Their voices rise in disbelief. How was there no foul?
Now, there's nothing Indiana can challenge here because no call on the floor was made. Clearly not on purpose from Carrington, but also enough contact that it certainly could have been a personal foul.
What makes this moment so telling isn't just the missed call, it's what happened next. Clark didn't argue, didn't throw up her hands, didn't plead with the refs. She just took the hit, a bruise already forming around her eye, and kept playing. But the damage was done. Her rhythm was off, and it showed. She finished the first half shooting a rough 1 for 9, clearly thrown off by the uncalled foul.
You see the poke in the eye, and one of the areas that Indiana has first game of the season here in this building, Ryan, is when that blitz comes to Caitlin Clark, how she is able to deliver the basketball to Aaliyah Boston.
Meanwhile, fans weren't nearly as quiet. Social media exploded with outrage, with many calling it one of the worst officiated games ever and a complete embarrassment for the league. Clips of the missed call went viral within minutes, leaving viewers across the sports world in disbelief over what they had just witnessed.
They better choose carefully and choose wisely, because even though everybody wants to show out and support Caitlin Clark, I told you earlier, I think a lot of people are getting real close to turning the TV back off because the WNBA does not want to step up and take responsibility for this shit.
But here's the real frustration. This wasn't just a one-time mistake. The eye poke was the latest in a season-long pattern of Clark taking excessive physical contact with little to no protection from officials. Game after game, she endured hard fouls, body checks, and overly aggressive defense that went beyond competitive. It was downright dangerous.
Is good. Kennedy Carter now, lay from Boston, as the officials are going to and Clark.
This isn't just the typical rookie treatment. It's something more targeted, more deliberate. And yet, through it all, Clark has stayed composed. She hasn't blamed the officiating, hasn't made excuses in post-game interviews. She just keeps playing, pushing forward, even as the physical and mental toll continues to add up.
She may be thinking, look, if they're not going to call these flagrant fouls and they're going to let everybody in the league beat the crap out of me, I better do something to put on some mass to protect myself.
If you thought the eye poke with no call was bad, just wait until you see the blatant double standard that's been happening all season. In one game, Clark gets a technical for lightly touching the backboard after a missed shot. Yet minutes later, a veteran player shoves her from behind during a timeout, and the refs act like it never happened.
So the first one here is when Caitlin Clark got a technical for slapping the padding that is on the hoop.
The August 18th game against the Seattle Storm perfectly highlighted just how absurd the officiating has become. After missing a three-pointer, Clark lightly taps the basket padding out of frustration with herself. And what happens next? The ref instantly blows the whistle and gives her a technical foul. Even the commentator sounded baffled, simply stating, Caitlin Clark gets hit with a technical.
Staying with her, preventing her from getting those touches.
Hey, Caitlin Clark gets hit with a tech. She was jawing for a while after that foul call on Aaliyah, but this one I think is about her frustration with missing that last three.
After the game, Clark broke it down. I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three, and then I went and hit the backboard. He told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. Seriously, a light tap on some padding is disrespectful to the game. Meanwhile, actual disrespect was about to unfold right in front of the same officials, and they did nothing.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So, I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other team. It was just because I'm a competitor and I felt like I should have been making more shots. So, but I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him for that.
Later in that very same game, Skylar Diggins-Smith blatantly shoved Clark from behind during a timeout. This wasn't an accidental bump or a basketball play. It was a deliberate push right in front of everyone in the arena during a stoppage in play. And what did the officials do? Absolutely nothing. No technical, no warning, not even a glance in her direction. Meanwhile, fans erupted in boos, stunned by the complete lack of action. Social media blew up instantly. Fans were outraged. How does Clark get punished for a harmless tap on the backboard, yet a veteran can physically shove her with zero consequences? This isn't just inconsistent officiating, it's a clear pattern. Rookies like Clark are held to impossible standards, while veterans seem to get away with anything.
Because I thought that we were turning the corner when it came to the jealousy and cheap shots in the WNBA, especially when it's not a basketball play. But as you can see here, Caitlin Clark is walking off the court, and Skylar Diggins, you can see her speed up and kind of dip her shoulder just so she can hit Caitlin Clark. Mind you, they are down 15, 16 points with 10 seconds left in the game.
What makes this even more shocking is how the rules seem to change depending on who's involved. Clark's small display of frustration gets called immediately, yet when she's on the receiving end of blatant aggression, the rest stay silent. The double standard is undeniable. Rookies like Clark get hit with technicals for the smallest things, while veterans enjoy a level of leniency that feels like outright favoritism.
WNBA letting this go on when she is the league. When she is the league, period. I mean, let's be real here.
The most impressive part, Clark didn't let the unfair treatment shake her. Instead, she used it as fuel. After that absurd technical, she said, I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that, so I want to thank him for that. That's the mindset of a true champion, turning adversity into motivation and using it to elevate her game.
Kathy Engelbert continuing to let this kind of thing go on this season. It started turning some people off last season, and it's probably going to start turning some people off this season if it's clear they're not going to do anything about it.
That champion mentality was put to the test even more as opponents realized they could get really physical with Clark without consequences. The Alyssa Thomas incident on August 28th against Connecticut wasn't just a hard foul. It was outright aggression disguised as basketball. Thomas delivered a brutal shoulder check that sent Clark crashing to the floor, leaving fans in shock. You'd expect a play like that to trigger an immediate review and a flagrant foul, right? Wrong. The refs barely reacted, calling it just a common foul, even as Clark lay sprawled on the hardwood.